weaving beautiful relationships and being happy. We manage many relationships in our life, personal and professional, with our loved one, a spouse, a partner, with children, family members, friends, boss, colleagues, business partner, stakeholders, etc. So many, yes. Each of these relationships come with their own set of demands and challenges, and these can have an adverse effect if not dealt well in time. Problems and challenges arise due to many reasons. Number one, we were never taught what to do or not to do in situations like that. Or because we become overstressed, over anxious about our relationships because we expect a lot from that relationship, or because we have lost our self-worth because of some experiences in the past. We have lost our trust, and these are the reasons why we are unable to manage relationships to the fullest. Today we have with us Usha Singh, a relationship coach who can help us understand relationships and be able to find happiness by creating beautiful long-term relationships. A heartfelt welcome to Usha Singh on the show. Usha Singh is an entrepreneur, founder and director of HBEC and Nutro Agrotech. She has coached many people on relationships and helped people find love for each other. We have with us today Usha Singh once again, and Usha is also with us on the Catalyst, one of the coaches who coaches on relationships. So, welcome, Usha. Welcome so much on this show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Reshma, for giving me this stage. And really, when we talk about the relationship, this is the most complex topic to understand because that is the thing which comes from inside. And later on stage, the other things are affecting. So, first, we have to dig down deeper in our insight, in our visuals, what we are thinking about because
Lovely, lovely.
relationship starts with a person, an individual person, and
Hmm.
who you are as an individual, that you need to understand.
Right.
Once you understand yourself, then only you get a person with you. You will attract the same persona towards you to make this journey beautiful, because we all are here for a journey, right?
Right,
And
right.
most people,
Absolutely
and
right.
I can say that a 90% of people I seen in my life, in my career, that they come together just for the sake, because they have to do something, or they are, if you talk about the married life, you seen that lots of arrangements are done by our parents or someone in the life who has a significant effect.
Right.
But have we ever thought that being an individual, what we want to do, what we want to achieve in life, or being in a relationship where we want to go, we never think before coming to together. So I think this is the biggest issue, and the first stage where we need to think and work out that before entering in any kind of relationship, what we want to achieve, what is our ultimate goal. And
Right.
once we work out that thing, rest of the things and the next step become easy to make it more harmonious.
Right. So many a
And
times, Usha, that people just marry for the sake of marrying. So it's just
yeah,
that they are doing it for the sake of the society, their parents, but then that spark in the relationship is not there, and that creates a problem. It's like
that's
if you say that if you are happy in a relationship, you will be happy in everything you do, right? And
yes,
you very rightly brought out one important point which I would like even the viewers to know, that it's important for a healthy relationship. The first important step is knowing yourself, knowing who you are, right? You
yes,
very beautifully
exactly.
pointed that out. Lovely.
Yeah.
So, Usha, how did you start your journey as a relationship coach? I mean, everybody wants to go away because it's such a sensitive topic. It's such an important but a sensitive topic. People really don't want to dwell on it. So, how did you think about becoming a relationship coach?
Actually, it's towards, I'm also married since last 11 years, and I can say that yes, I'm happily married. And it is because we also started the journey same. Our parents set up, and we married. After that, we moved out of the India, and we was living there. And I started analyzing the small things, which was not earlier in my life also. Because it is a traditional setup where parents meet together, they decide something, and you just get married. It is also just for the sake of, because you have to, your age is going over, so now you have to get married and you have to start your journey. So I start observing why outside India people are little more happier than in India. So I found out that yes, there is, because after getting matured at that stage, they know that to whom they need to select, who will campaign themselves towards their goal. But
Mhm.
here, this was the missing part at the initial stage. So
Right.
I started including these things, these small goals in my marriage, and slowly I seen that now we are in a different kind of setup. More than a husband wife, we are now just like a friend, even more than a friend, who are companion each other towards their journey, towards their goal. We are helping each other to achieve their own individual objects as well. So for me, that is the basic step. And once you go one step ahead of that, you will see that you start observing yourself also. You start resolving your own personal issues, and then it will become like, happy life, because your own issues when resolved, you
Mhm.
can see that other things are also, you are able to contribute something.
Right, right. Absolutely right. We all, in some or the other way, want a healthy relationship. We want a relationship that it's a strong, it's a long term, right? So that we can maximize this relationship. And once, like you said, if you are in sync with each other, we are aligned to each other. You have very clear expectations of what you want in the marriage, what the other partner wants, and then come together, the marriage really works. Right now, I want to know, in your opinion, what is a healthy relationship, a healthy marriage, or a
For
relationship? Because
me, that
nowadays we're
healthy
also
marriage,
talking about
yes.
that. Yeah,
Yeah. So healthy marriage, or any kind of relationship, not even marriage,
yeah.
there is one point is there, that you need to be happy, you need to be satisfied, you should know what you want. So once you know your need, your want, your goal, you will able to attract that same person. And when both of you come together and you are just going towards the same goal and trying to achieve the same thing, that makes your happy marriage. And that, for me, it's a perfect and a healthy and a happy relationship.
Okay, lovely, lovely. Yes, I mean, whenever you talk about healthy relationship, it's about having your own boundaries. You set your own boundaries, you set those kind of things, and you respect each other in that way. Love, yes, but it's also more about respect. It's about friendship, it's about partnership. It's about a lot of things. A relationship is just not one thing that, okay, if you are just having sex, so that's the
Yeah.
only thing. It's more about
And very
other
much
things
important
also
part,
involved.
Dr.
Yes.
Reshma,
Yes.
space. You are
Yeah.
giving each other the same space they need to develop, to grow. Because you
Correct.
seen that the railway track, there is always a space. It is a journey. There is always a space, so that whenever the train goes and passes, because of that heat, they span. The same thing is with the relationship also. It's a journey. You need
Mhm.
that small spaces, so that each of, both of you can expand in that way. And that you can never be failed in that journey.
Lovely. Yes, yes. Your analogy, I loved, like the train tracks. They have that space. And yes, in every relationship, that space is equally important, so that you give each other that time to evolve individually and then come together and then evolve as partners as well. So that space is very important. But Usha, I just want to ask you, many a times we've seen, that each partner has an expectation of the other partner, right?
Yes.
And these
Yes.
expectations can lead to a lot of quarrels, a lot of conflicts. right? So how do you deal with those expectations of both partners, like especially if they don't match? How do you deal with it?
Oh, actually, the most of the time I have seen that problem starts with miscommunication.
Mm,
When there is a communication gap between these two people who are in relationship, from there these kind of issues start, is because everybody is expecting that, people in front of you, they will read your mind, and that is not in real life. It is always in movies, the Hollywood type and the Bollywood type movies, who predict it like that, that uh, you know your couple and your partner can just read your mind. It's never happened. Speak,
right.
talk to each other, give some time to each other, and that is the we called it mantra for the happy relationship. Communicate whenever it is required. Just communicate. Don't sit and don't just wait for someone, other partners to come and tell you that, okay, this is the issue. Go,
Mm-hmm.
sit together, and for that time, I was just give that specific time to communicate.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So communication is the chabi, is that key,
Yes, yes,
which really helps you align and seek love, find love
true.
in relationships, right? But many a times, like you also said earlier, that we have arranged marriages even now. I mean, yes, the love marriages and you have it has increased, but there, and then it becomes difficult. Like for you also, you had an arranged marriage, right? So how did you find that spot where you are able to learn to communicate as well? How did you manage that?
It is like, see, that is a previous marriage coaching or something, is a different topic. We will talk
Yeah.
about it in
Okay.
some other session.
Sure,
But
sure.
yes, after marriage, because we have this kind of setup. So after marriage, whenever there is a, we call it a honeymoon period. There is a after marriage. Most of the couples are planning for that.
Right.
So that is the period I think you can plan, you can talk. But
Huh.
90% of people are planning where they want to go and where they want to visit, what they want to buy. But they never plan that they should keep this in their schedule also, that they want to know each other,
Mhm.
because there is less noise. You are going separately, so you are not in a place where other things are also, disturbing your these conversation. You're in a
Mhm.
separate kind of situation, separate kind of place where there is a peace. So I think this must be there in plan, that they know each other. And
Mhm.
when you know each other better, it will be easy to handle the other things also.
Right, right, right. Yes. So knowing your partner, even if it is arranged marriage, it's very important so that you come to know each other and then you can strike that balance between and know each other well, right? And that will help in building that relationship on a stronger ground. Like Usha, we here in India don't talk, like you've been abroad, you've been exposed, you've stayed there for quite a long time, and they have these pre-marriage counseling, and and they have all that, and they are prepared. Okay, on what to expect, how and where to go about. And in India, it's not happening in that way. It started, people are looking for it, but it's not. So, as a coach, what do you have to say about that? How
I
important
think now
it is.
now people are changing their these kinds of marriages. They are more. We see that love marriages are happening,
Mm-hmm.
and they are trying to marriage to whom they know since long. So I think even then also they should go prior counseling before entering into this marriage contract. The reason is that when you go before marriage, it is something like, when you know each other, there is a goody goody things you always show. It is very
Mm-hmm.
less that you know the other things that which is going to affect your married life. And
Mm-hmm.
when you enter into this counseling, we try to show each other the real perspective and real me. We call it real me, so
Mm-hmm.
that once they enter into that contract, it will be they know each other and they can handle the situation like this, because lots of situation are where the conflict arises. But
Mm-hmm.
always we seen that people, instead of replying, they are just reacting. instead of responding, they start reacting. And when you know that this is the weakness of my partner, you
Mm-hmm.
will handle it more carefully, that I should not use these words, or I should not go hyper at that time, so that the another part come apart. So this is the, we should try to do it, before marriage. But
Mm-hmm.
because still it's growing, so we can say even after marriage it's always better if they come in the initial phase of marriage, so that we can help them to, instead of wasting time, and that instead of indulge into fighting, it should
Mm-hmm.
start with the happy notes. Because
Right.
once the most of the and people are coming after so many fights and all this, so what happened, our minds is something like that. Once it something negative go inside, it is very hard to remove that part.
Right. Right. Right.
Right. So I always is, recommend whosoever has a marriage issues, and it always, people can see it in the initial phase of marriage is always shown, but we are, nurtured it like that to ignore it, to suppress it. So instead of that, it's better to come early. It will
Right.
help you to, spend the rest of the life living together happily.
Right, right. So there has to be a lot of healthy communication, and especially when you brought out, Usha, that we usually react to things, right? We don't respond, and those reaction can really be destructive. Because the words that come out at that point of time when you react, because when you react, you are like, full of emotions, driven by those emotions. You're either angry, or you're resenting something, or you're like bursting out, you're frustrated, and in that frustration, anger, you just blurt out something that can be very hurtful, and it can spoil that relationship between two people. So it is very important, like you said, that whenever you are with your partners, it is important that not react and to respond, which is, I would say, not very easy. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of mindful practice to not be reactive and be responsive, right? But I think it's not that it's not possible. It is possible, and we have to do that. We have to be very mindful about what you're talking and how you're talking to your partner, because it's all about respecting each other, right? And that respect has to be there along with love. Lovely, lovely, Usha. So, Usha, in a relationship, there are certain external factors that can really, mar the marriage, okay, or mar a relationship. And how can one avoid these external factors to make a happy relationship?
Dr. Reshma, see, I already told in my starting conversation that this is very important. You know yourself. You should be true to yourself. When you're
Mm-hmm.
true to yourself, you will be true to your partner as well, right?
Awesome.
So
Yes.
then the chances for external factors affecting your relationship, it's reduces. But yes, it is there, because we are living in a society, we are living with family, so other people thoughts are something different, and there are
Mhm.
lots of thoughts in one house. So always be calculative, that what other people is telling to you, and what it should be there in your relationship, right?
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
should not be like just hear and react again.
Right.
Respond. How you are responding towards the things is really important, but we are prone to react more instead of responding. So we should do practice of responding, and it is very simple. You just take a deep breath without, when you're listening something which is negative for you, take a deep breath and relax for some time, think for that, and then you just respond. So this is the therapy which helps you to respond, and that will reduce that friction between anyone in between your partner.
Right. Absolutely right. And Usha, I would just like to add to what you're saying. I think journaling also helps a lot when you're talking about building those strong bonds and strong relationships, where you write down what could have been a better response, at that point of time in a particular situation that you've done. If you start doing that as well, it really minimizes the chances of you reacting to situations, and then you start learning to respond. It is one way of building that practice of being able to respond. So just wanted to add that as well. Yes, you're very, very right,
And,
Usha. Usha,
and I remember one,
yeah,
Dr. Reshma, I just
yeah,
remember one short story which I really like to, point out here,
sure.
because once you listen that story, you can connect what I am want to talk, what I want to talk, and where I am connecting.
Mm-hmm.
There was a patient. He gone to the doctor, and once the doctor start, asking where do you have pain,
Mm-hmm.
so from his finger, he is touching everywhere. I have pain here, I have pain here, I have pain here, here, everywhere. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So once doctor seen and examine everything, he told, you have pain only in your fingers, not everywhere. But from that painful finger, you are touching everywhere and telling that you have a pain in all over your body. So here
Right.
also, when there is a flaw in your relation between that two partners,
Mm-hmm.
you can see that everybody is telling about that pain. You will pain have with other relationship also. You will have that pain with, your friends, your colleagues, everywhere. That pain will affect.
Right.
So instead of telling that we have painful relationship with everyone, you should know that there is only one relationship where there is a pain, and you have to, give medication for that pain only, not
Lovely.
to tell everyone that no, you are there, so you are affecting my relationship. It's not like that. You should know there should be bonding, there should be trust, there should be intimacy, and
Right.
if between both of you there is a that kind of intimacy, other things as hardly they have that kind of effect.
Right, right. Absolutely right, Usha. A lovely, again, a lovely analogy. So, really easy to understand. You were talking about intimacy, and intimacy, when you're talking about sexual intimacy, is, an important factor. I mean, is it only sexual intimacy, or you need an emotional intimacy also? What do you think about it? How important
um,
sexual intimacy
yeah,
is?
I think that sex is really an important topic, and
Mm-hmm.
it's really required in that relationship. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not only sex, because normally we seen that they come together in a relationship and they give priority to through the sex, because
Right.
this is our our biology is like that. But
Mm-hmm.
when we start giving priority to only sex, then it affects. Then you start ignoring the emotional requirement there.
Mm-hmm.
And once you start giving priority to that emotional requirement, and then you see that things are changing, you should
Mm-hmm.
start attracting each other. And once you start attracting, you start, behaving in that manner. So
Right.
only concentrating on sex should not be there, but because it is an important topic and important thing in a relationship, we should plan that how it should go. We should fulfill each other desires respectfully. It should not be forcefully, because once you start putting your force there, then your relationship definitely it's going to smudge, and there will be nothing neat and clean. So you should go one step ahead in this one, but with
Mhm.
mutual respect, with mutual desire, and both should complement each other. It is not like only man is desiring for the sex or a woman is desiring for the sex. It's not like that. Sometimes it happens that woman doesn't require, but man require. So, is
Right.
there any way that we can cooperate each other in that situation also? Yes, there are therapies and there are sessions where we
Mhm.
help them to complement each other in that time also.
Mhm.
So, it is an important part. We cannot ignore it, but we should go carefully for that.
Right, right. So there has to be a balance of everything. So it's just not about sexual intimacy, it's also about the respect, emotional bond, emotional intimacy, and companionship that will work together. As like, in if you want a biryani, you can't just put one thing and finish it, right? You want other ingredients also. So all ingredients are equally important to get that right taste in your mouth, right? So
Yeah.
it's like that. It's, you need to get all the ingredients properly put, so that you get the best out of the relationship, the marriage. Many a times, Usha, there is a lot of toxicity in relationships. How do you identify that? There are people who can't even identify, and once you identify, how can you get out of it?
We should know that this is the toxic relation. There is a point where we are fed up. We know that we can't go ahead with this people, this person in our life, because lots of collusion are already done. You cannot change your thoughts, because some are like that. We are biological bond to our nurturing. We
Hmm.
nurtured in some way, right? And sometimes it is very hard to come out of that nurturing.
Right.
So
Right.
in that way, when the situation becomes so much abusive, the person becomes so much physical to you that you cannot overcome with that situation. It's always required to quit that relation,
Hmm.
because once you cannot go long with the heavy burden.
Hmm.
You should be light if you want to do a long journey. If you want to be happy, you should be light. If you are not feeling light, you are thinking that this person is burden on me, it's always to quit there.
Right.
So there is
Right.
a point people need to understand. And in our situation like that, in our combination like that, it happens
Mhm.
that we, even after that physical abuse and everything, we don't want to quit. And that
Right.
really affect our body, and especially our mind. And
Mhm.
with the same mind, even you cannot nurture your future generation. So it's always better to quit and go light with your mind, to give next generation a better life.
Right. So it is always better to get out of a toxic relationship and not, hold on to it, giving reasons like children or anything else, other things, and just let go, so that you are able to give a healthy environment to your children, to yourself as well. Right. So there is a time when you have to let go. Usha, there are a few questions here. Also, people have asked. There is one person who's asked, the insecurity and fear in a relationship, how to remove that fear and insecurity.
Sure. It's a good thing, a good question, I think, because that is I have seen most of the couple is insecure because most of the reason are there. Maybe uh, their partners are working somewhere, or they have a more good, other relationships also. So people start feeling that insecurity. But insecurity is something is the like, slow poison for your relationship. So think about that, and why this insecurity is there. Again, there is a communication problem. That is why there is a security issues are coming, right? So
Right.
just sit together, talk to them. Which thing? What is that point which is holding your partners to feel insecure about you? If it is something that you can resolve, it's better to resolve at this point, instead of keeping in mind and telling, okay, don't go here, don't talk to them. Generally we seen like that, when you feel insecure, you start holding that person, trying to be near that person, and that is affecting a lot. So don't do that. Sit with that person, sit with your partner, talk to them. What is that point holding you? And it will be easily resolved. You can see that if something is like that which you can do. And if your wife is or your husband is going out, you're talking to someone, there is a it means there is a trust issue. You should resolve it and maintain that trust, because that person also have some individuality. That person also have some kind of other relationship also, which might be not known to you, but it is important in his or her life. So you should give that space, that respect to other relationship also. When you're trying to hold back something, it is definitely, it will go more far than you. So don't
Right.
try to hold that, no, this person will always sit in front of me, do whatever I said. Don't do that.
because the more you hold, the more that person will slip away, right? It's
Yes.
like that sand in your hand, you hold it very tightly, it slips away faster, right? And I think insecurities and fears also stem from our own a whole concept of self esteem. What do you think who you are, like you first said about who you are? So it is important for us
Yes.
to understand that. And then secondly, if you feel that that communication you're talking about, so if the communication is wrong, you have to sit. And also it's a kind of a this about each other as partners, to make a person feel secured as well, right? So it is in both aspects one has to work, right, Usha?
Yes. When there is a when people start feeling insecure, now it is something that you are lacking somewhere.
Lacking somewhere, absolutely,
So
absolutely.
to because of that fear that you are lacking somewhere, you try to hold that other person.
Right. Right, absolutely. There is another question also. Can past relationships affect recent relationships?
It affect if you are not true or you will not resolve before entering into marriage. Yes, that definitely affect.
Right. So for
Don't
that, you
try.
have to clear the relationship before.
Yes, you have to move on. You have to move on, not only physically but mentally also. Once you moved on, then only you should go into other relationship. Otherwise it will definitely going to affect. But with the therapies and sessions we can even remove that also, if you have some kind of past like this. But be true to yourself that yes, you moved on.
Right.
It's not like you just telling yourself that yes, I moved on, and once you enter into another relationship you are again going back, you are seeing back. Don't do that.
Right.
True to
Right.
yourself and true to your partner also.
Right, absolutely right. So I think it is important that you clear, have cleared all that baggage that you've carried with the past relationship before moving on to the next relationship. Because, like you rightly said, it's about being true to yourself and being true to the partner as well. And you can't carry it along in the second relationship. Many a times, Usha, also, I want to ask that there are, you not only carry, after that you also start comparing, which becomes a big problem. That okay, my ex was like that, or my ex-husband was like that, and that again becomes a mode of contention in the relationship, right? So how do you deal with that, Usha?
Comparison is something like that. We human made for the comparison. It is very clear.
Yeah.
But once you come into a marriage life and you start taking care of each other, the
Mm-hmm.
first step, you know that what the other person is. If
Mm-hmm.
you know it very well, you will start comparing. And comparison come when you expect more. When you put a burden of expectation on other person, then that person start comparing. So why to expect so much? That person is also human being, you are also human being. That expectation is just like the more you will expect, and expectation can never be fulfilled.
Absolutely,
This is true
absolutely
in
right.
relationship. Expectation can never be fulfilled. You can never make person fully happy with your work.
Right.
So
Right.
always try to be self, like that you should not expect too much. Don't put expectation burden. Why to put that?
Right, because to be happy is something which is also depends on you. It doesn't. You should not be dependent on anybody else to give you that happiness in a relationship, right?
If you don't
So,
want to be happy, another person cannot make yourself, you happy.
right, right,
It's
absolutely,
first step from yourself, you to make your life happy, and then automatically the other person will start contributing in that.
right, right.
And
So,
expectation
Usha,
is a problematic for every relationship. If you too
yes.
much expect, that is going to be blunder.
Right, right. So don't expect too much and have very clear expectations discussed, communicate, right? So, Usha, just to ask you, what is your mantra of happiness in your marriage?
Oh, so my mantra for marriage is the important thing: communication, give space, and push each other towards the achieve the best version of themselves.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yes. So, do you have any special song of each other which you love singing for each other?
uh, for singing right now, okay, it is very old song, something like, I don't remember the exact words for that, but yes, uh, हम तुम एक कमरे में बंद हो और चाबी खो जाए, तेरे नैनों की भूल भुलैया में उषा खो
Good.
जाए. Actually, it
Lovely,
is
lovely.
something that privacy that really need in that healthy relationship. Forget
Right,
other things. See into yourself. See into your partner's eyes.
right.
Feel what that person want. Feel what your partner want, and everything is going to be resolved.
Right, right. Absolutely right, Usha. Lovely. There's just a last question that we will take. If you don't want to end your toxic relations, always seeking ways to stay and want to work things between each other, but always repeating things again, what to do?
Okay, so for that, I think you should come to our platform and take some sessions. It always better to talk in front, because for a toxic relationship, there will be we need to see that both the sides and where you are stuck in. Lots of
Absolutely.
things are there. It is very hard to tell that this thing is holding you. When we talk, maybe something other thing is holding you, and you are thinking, no, 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 this is the thing. So just come and connect with us, and we will help you to come out of this toxicity in your life, and we will make your happy life.
Lovely, lovely, Usha. Very rightly said. So it was great. Thanks, Usha, for talking to us with on such a pertinent topic, because which will either lead to breakthrough or breakdown if not handled properly and powerfully. So all you beautiful souls out there, create beautiful relationships with your partners, evolve together, find happiness, and support each other to become the best versions of each other, of themselves, right? Please feel free to connect with us on Dr. Reshma, the catalyst at gmail.com. Usha is our in-house coach on relationships, and we would be more than happy to coach you and on any challenge that you are facing at personal or professional levels. We will coach you to enjoy a great life and move forward in life with happiness and joy. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you liked it. And if you did, please share some love by liking, sharing, and commenting. Look forward to meeting you all next week, same day, same time, with another interesting learning. Promise to keep it real always. Tada and take care. Thank you, Usha.
Thank
Thanks
you
a lot
so
for
much,
being here.
and please don't forget to subscribe the channel and keep yourself alive. Don't let you die, because this is the only life you have to live.
Lovely, lovely, lovely words. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.